Hello, and today we're talking to Eliza from the Eliza Effect, another Reactor channel. So, welcome. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's great. It's just a thrill for me because I got into this by watching reaction channels rather than knowing everything about Ren. It was particularly following the reaction channel. So, to have these interviews and then also watch all their materials, just a thrill. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, you're welcome. There's so much to learn. That's also how I kind of got into Rin. So
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm completely open to talking about, other people that you cover. I think I read on your channel it was saying videos and there was other things besides music.
hmm
I'm definitely open to talking about. This isn't just about Ren or anything. It just happens to be the thread that connects for a lot of people, and
yeah,
that's how I got started. Yeah. So where shall I start? I watched Cujo Beatdown. That was the one that I saw of yours. Now I didn't see that live. I
hmm
didn't see the whole countdown thing and everything.
hmm
And because there's the countdown going on, you told us a little bit about you. But so people may know a little bit about you already, but go for it. Tell us a little bit about you and how you found Ren and how long you've
yeah,
been doing the channel.
yeah. So I haven't had the channel for a super long time, maybe 3 or 4 months. And I actually started it after I came across Rin. So my journey kind of started with watching some reaction videos. My husband was like, "You have to see this guy Rin. You have to watch this video. He has Lyme disease and blah blah blah." And I have Lyme disease, so I was like,
Yes.
"Okay,
Yeah.
let's check it out." And so we ended up watching Hi Rin, and I was a mess. I was like, I was bawling. I was, oh my gosh, it just hit me in a way that I wish would have
Yeah.
been recorded, but I didn't have a reaction channel at that
I
point.
can feel my eyes welling up, just thinking about that.
Oh, I
That's so
was,
weird.
it
I think
hit,
because I know
yeah.
you've been ill. I think that's why yeah.
Yeah,
Go on,
oh,
go on.
thank you. But yeah, it does. It really it hit different.
Hmm.
And I know it gets a lot of people, but I was immediately like that art form, whatever it is, because I still don't know exactly what to call his art. It's not just music,
Yeah.
I was immediately hooked. So I was like, well, maybe I should start a reaction channel. Maybe people want to hear what I have to say too. So I just thought it looked so fun, and I did it. And I think it's just an awesome way, especially to get independent artists out there, because I've
Yeah.
always really enjoyed. I mean, I love the stuff on the radio, but I love when I come across something that other people haven't quite. They're not that big yet, and
Hmm.
I'm like, ooh, people need to know about this person. And so it's been really fun having a reaction channel.
Yeah. So you're told about Ren, you're told about that he had Lyme disease.
hmm
But were you somebody even at that point that was like, yeah, I explore new music, I do was there any resistance or is it all just easy flowing?
Um, it was pretty easy flowing. I've always been like I don't mind putting up the camera and like making a silly TikTok and things like that. And I've never like had a bunch of followers or anything. I just do it and it's fun. And so that's kind of my expectation with my YouTube channel is I've just been like, well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's really fun to do.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had some things that I wanted to say, and so I just hit record and said them.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like you needed to censor at all? Or were you, I mean, I feel like maybe are you just a different generation to me that you're like, yeah, it was easy to turn the camera on. Yeah, I just spoke. But
Yeah, I
that's
don't,
not my mindset.
I don't know. I'm like that in life too. I just kind of say and do what's on my mind, and there are consequences for that sometimes, but that's just how I am. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I've loved music forever. Like I love to sing, I love to dance. And recently I'll say over maybe like the last year, I just have had a lot of life changes, and
Hmm.
music has really, really. I've never felt as close to music as I have over the last year. So then I started listening to other musicians on my channel too, and I'm still totally open to exploring new music. I love it.
Okay. Did I just hear a cockerel?
You did. That's my alarm. That's my Alexa alarm. That's when I usually wake up. It's 7 a.m. here,
Okay,
so
thank you for
yeah,
joining me so
I
early.
know that came on. I said, yeah.
I used to have a cockerel alarm clock because I used to dream in the sleep about the alarm and just turn it off in my
Oh
sleep.
yeah.
So I had to have a cocktail
Yeah,
to
because then
wake me
it's
up.
yeah, now it's really time to wake up.
Thank you for getting up so early for me. So
Of
you
course.
said there's been a lot of life changes. I don't know. We didn't speak beforehand, so I don't know if these are off limits or
Yeah, yeah, they are
only share what
somewhat.
you're comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are somewhat personal, but I will say
yeah,
just like a huge a way heavier understanding of myself and where I'm going in life and what I want to do.
okay,
And that's everything, personal, work, just everything, and just kind of having a like a download almost of a lot of things
yeah,
came through for me, and I'm like, it's time to change some things. And and I've just really connected with music. I just listen to more music now than I ever did before, and I've it's made me be able to have a good cathartic cry. I've also been able to dance and have fun with it, and it's just been a
yeah,
really happy place for me lately to be able to turn to music. So,
yeah. I'm sorry. We can edit anything out that
oh
you want to get. I'm just
no,
I'm so nosy.
no,
You
no,
said
no,
about
ask
having
away.
like a. You said you like having a download. Like I'm really into the personal development world. Are you thinking along? I'm going to use the term woo woo, but it's not to insult
No,
anybody.
yeah,
Are you talking about like that kind of a sensation of some
yes,
a
and I
message or
know.
intuition or a feeling? Yeah,
Yes, absolutely. Intuitive. Yeah, I'm like going
yeah,
through life way more aware of what's
yeah.
going on in here, and a little less attached to what's going on out there. And yeah, a lot of people do call it, woo woo, and
I
I know.
say it with affection.
No, no, no. I know. Me too. Me
Yeah,
too. And
yeah.
to people who do think of woo woo as like a not a good thing, I
Mm,
would just say to meet it with curiosity rather than
yeah.
judgment. Just because it's really just going inward is all it is. It's just really trying to understand what's going
Oh
on in
yeah.
here and in here, and it's helped me grow quite a bit lately. So yeah, I'm very interested in that world of things too, which is why
Yeah.
Ren's music specifically has really like
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking because I've had a similar experience, and also I wonder whether it's something that I feel in terms of self-expression as well, and that you're saying, "Oh no, I'm experimenting with this now. I'm feeling called towards this," and so the whole idea, and also. I don't know whether I've mentioned to you, but my diagnosis is chronic fatigue. And so it's still along those same lines of the fatigue. And some of the books I've been reading are about um, the type of person that can get these illnesses sometimes and that maybe they need to be expressing themselves more. I don't know whether you're
absolutely.
I'm completely open. I'm not one that says the way to get better must be this supplement or the way to get better must be brain training. I'm completely open to considering everything.
Which is amazing for you because I think that
Yeah,
opens so many other possibilities for
yeah,
healing, whether that be physically, mentally,
hmm,
anything. First of all, sorry to hear about your diagnosis.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
these
Yeah.
chronic illnesses, oof. But but yeah, I do think I've just with the work that I do as a social media manager,
Hmm.
and the avenue of our content,
Hmm.
and then my own experience with Lyme, I see we talk a lot about chronic illnesses and how
Hmm.
some people can be more susceptible to
Yeah,
getting those illnesses because of stuck trauma and things like that
yeah.
because of just where you're at. Whereas
Hmm.
if you were open and kind of had a I don't want to say a better attitude because that's like dismissive of the
It's so tricky to talk about.
right, it is,
It's so
but
tricky. I don't have the answers. Yeah.
exactly me either. But I would just say, if anybody wanted my advice was just to was it's just like keeping an open mind and knowing that
Yeah.
like literally every single person heals differently and feels
Yeah.
differently,
Yeah.
and we all just have to do what works for us.
Yeah. I just, when you were saying it though, I was thinking, oh, is it all interconnected? You were saying like I had a download, I was making these
Hmm.
changes. I'm
Hmm.
I'm now doing a YouTube channel, I'm
Hmm.
exploring different music. And I was like, well, this sounds, I think sometimes this is something that can people talk about with any illness or big thing that's happened. It's almost like a reassessment of what do I do going forward. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's definitely how it was for me. And I think that with growth, I think that sometimes I mean, I hope this isn't the case for everybody, but I do think that sometimes you have to hit like rock bottom because I
Yeah.
remember when I had that download, that was a
Hmm.
really really hard day for me. Like I was
Yeah.
supposed to work, I called into work, I took a mental health day, I went to the lake, I cried it out, I listened to music all day, and it was like a download. It was like I had time to
Yeah.
let all the other walls down and kind of let a lot of things and feelings and understanding come through. And I really, like I've told my therapist, and now I'm gonna tell the world
Yeah.
that like that day so much came through for me, and it was like there was really
Hmm.
no going back. I just had this like new understanding of myself. So sometimes, yeah, I do. I think it's all interconnected, and I think that you really have to turn everything else off sometimes and just try to understand
Yeah.
what's going on. So,
Yeah, I know for me that there was a long time. I was trying to talk about chronic illness to somebody yesterday, and there's a long time where you don't think of yourself necessarily as chronically ill. I don't know with Lyme disease. Did you get an early diagnosis or?
so I don't actually know exactly how long I've had it, but what
Okay,
happened was I ended up going to the ER like 3 times in 1 week.
okay,
Started with stomach pain, then it was a rash that was from head to toe, and it ended up being Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So then I
okay,
ended up being transferred by ambulance to a hospital and hospitalized. And then I didn't get diagnosed until after that weekend, but I had been pretty sick leading up to that, but I was
okay,
always diagnosed with chronic fatigue, depression,
okay.
anxiety,
Anxiety.
PTSD,
Oh,
all these
yeah.
things. And I'm like, gosh, I was, I don't know. So I feel like it's a common story. I bounced from doctor to
Yeah.
doctor and didn't know
Yeah.
what was going on. And then I finally got diagnosed and treated, and I'm doing a lot better. I'm very grateful. Um, so that was in 2021.
Yeah, I can't remember why I started the question. I remember thinking, I was talking to somebody yesterday and she was asking about chronic illness. And I was saying about there's phases because at the beginning, you don't know you're chronic ill. You'll think you're just ill, like 2 weeks ill,
Yep.
4 weeks ill,
Yeah.
6 weeks ill,
Yeah. What
and
is
so,
happening? Yeah.
yeah. So she was saying, how did you feel about it? And I said, well, obviously, in phase one, everything stops, you focus on getting better. And then phase two, you're like, but I think the way you talk about the download and the way I experienced a change was this can't be 100% of my focus anymore. It can't be about just getting better. It has to
Yeah.
be about, and for me, it was about creativity or making something or doing something or adding my voice to the conversation. That's kind of the turning point.
Absolutely. I think that's so important. Yeah. Because like you said, if you don't know that you're chronically ill, you're just kind of like, I'm sick and I'm trying to get better. And then at what
Yeah,
point do you understand that you're chronically ill? And then what do you do with that information once you understand
yeah,
it? Because like you said, yeah, if you focus on being chronically ill, like yes, I have Lyme disease, but like I don't, it's not something that I say super, super
yeah,
often. Because yeah, I don't want it to define me. And
hmm,
and there were times where it did, and during those times you have to just be gentle with yourself when you
yeah,
are going through that. But otherwise, finding those creative outlets and ways to still live as
yeah.
normally as you can, I think is really important.
Yeah, as I say, I know for me, it wasn't even just about defining. It was, this is what I'm doing with my time and energy. I'm looking for solutions. I'm finding out. I'm trying to find this. I'm trying this supplement now. I'm having these blood tests now, and then there's some point you say that level in. Well, for me, that level intensity of trying so many things. It's a hard one to step back from because I don't know if the next thing I try will make me feel better. So,
That is a
but it's like
really
yeah, I've got to do something else. I've got to switch off from it somehow.
yeah, I think yeah, just finding the balance in when you're able to feel well enough to still live and do the things that bring you joy, and
Yeah,
then trying to be patient with the process of figuring out your chronic illness. But we both know that it's tough.
yeah,
So
yeah. So you were saying that you were really interested in the music. Do you play an instrument, or you say you did singing? Is
I
that right?
don't. I sang in choir in high school.
Okay.
I sing now in the shower and in the car.
Yeah.
But other than that, I played trombone for 1 year in fifth grade, and that was about
Yeah.
it. So no, I just really enjoy listening to it.
Yeah. So, in terms of your creative outlets, do you draw? What do you do?
Yeah, so I listen to music, I sing, and I also I'm getting ready to perform my first burlesque show in in January. Yeah,
Exciting.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think about different. They probably have different ideas in their head when I say
Yeah.
burlesque. You know, you picture like the big martini glass with the
Okay.
feathers. That's not quite it.
Yeah.
I'll bring like a comedic
Okay.
routine to my burlesque show. So I'm actually
Okay.
going to be in a gorilla suit to start off with. So just a little sneak peek. But yeah, so I like to make people laugh. I like to dance. I like to
Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing with my time right now.
Okay, you have to say more. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
just too interesting and too wonderful. How do you, so do you go to a teacher and say, I'd like to do burlesque, but I'd like to bring in comedy? Or, I mean,
Yeah, well,
how
you
does
can.
this work?
So I actually don't have a teacher. I'm just doing it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I live in a like a college town that has
Hmm.
some a lot of bars around here where there's drag shows and burlesque shows and things like that. So they have an open night where you
Okay.
we have a few groups in town of burlesque dancers, but I'm actually a mom and I work full time, so I'm like I can't
Okay.
be in the group, but I am going to
Yeah.
perform at this open show. So I actually just talked to the person that was putting the show on, and I've talked about doing this for like 2 years, but I haven't actually done it. And now I'm scheduled to perform in January. I'm really excited. So, but yeah, I just and they have sometimes they have some comedy in their routines, but I wouldn't say it's like standard for every routine. And I'm like I like to be different and weird, so I'm gonna dress up as a gorilla and do a little sexy dance. So
I just, I love these stories so much. I promise you, when I'm speaking to people and these reactors and the fans, I don't know if it's people who, just those few people that agree to speak to me, or whether it's something about the Ren fans that there's a, okay, I'm interested in hearing different storytelling and putting two completely different things together. And
yeah, no,
there
I
just
love
seems
it.
to be a different kind of openness.
Yeah, oh, with Ren fans, you mean?
Yeah, I
Or
don't know. Is it Ren fans or just those few that have said yes to being interviewed by me? I don't know,
I
but
see,
you
I
all
see.
have that in common that you're
Yeah,
like, I do this, I do this, I do this. That's why I asked the
that's
question. It's
interesting.
like,
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, and I don't know if you've mostly talked to Ren fans, but I don't know. His music definitely has opened my mind to be like, you know,
yeah.
I don't know. We only live once. Let's do what makes us happy and let's find creative outlets to do whatever makes us feel
Yeah.
good. So,
I just feel like there's got to be more to this. A gorilla. What made you choose a gorilla?
well, the
Just
name that's so funny. The name of the song that I'm dancing to is actually "Gorilla" by Bruno Mars.
okay.
So you'll have to check that one out. But yeah,
Will you be
so
posting it?
will
Will
I
you be
be
brave
posting
enough?
it? Ooh, a good question. We will see. We will see
See,
how
we'll see.
confident I am with the filming of it. We'll see what I think of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I follow you on Instagram too, so maybe
Yeah,
just a snapshot or
maybe just a little clip. Yeah, yeah. No, it'll be fun.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited.
yeah. Because when I started doing YouTube quite a while ago, but I'd never liked my videos because they were too teachery. It was, I'm trying to solve a problem and this is the way to, and whenever I looked for how to do a YouTube channel, it was, you do it like this and you do it like that. And then, as I say, about 6 months ago, I just kind of threw my hands up in the air and I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't try to do it the right way anymore because it feels so bad. It feels so up, and yet I want to listen to the experts. I want to learn, and then, as I say, then I find the Ren fans and people like you dressing up as a gorilla and
Yeah, it's
burlesque
just
and comedy. And it's like
all us weirdos out here.
no, but it's
No,
also
in the best way.
but also I wonder whether is this how YouTube has always been, that there have been people that are different? Or is there some new thing where people are saying, no, no, I don't have to be one thing solving a problem. I can express myself more fully. You're social media, so what do you
Yeah,
think?
so that's a great question. I am a social media manager and I'm totally self-taught. So with that being said, I did the same thing. It's like I watched YouTube after YouTube after YouTube. I've read books. I'm currently taking
Mhm.
a course about video production. And I mean, I've learned so much, but I think the most important thing that I've learned, especially not with my work channel, but my own channel, is that you have to, you were saying it didn't feel good. It felt bad to try to do
Yeah,
exactly. And that is huge. I think that you just have to do what feels most genuine to you. And sure, there are helpful videos out there
yeah,
to get you going and things, but I think that just being your most authentic self and doing what feels best is probably going to be what's most successful for
yeah,
anyone really. And yeah, the it is interesting as far as like sticking to one niche. I'm still figuring that out because
yeah,
like you said, like the burlesque routine, the gorilla thing, like I'd love to like document my journey of that too. Like, I'm practicing to
yeah,
be in a gorilla suit, day 2 of practicing my routine and making it a thing. But then it's like, but that's not music reactions, so do I want to put that on? And I think that, yeah, I think we have to not like have these barriers. I think we just
yeah,
do what we want to do and what feels
yeah,
good, and that's what I think will draw people in. So
yeah. So you've frozen for, yeah, you're back. Um, yeah. Well, part of my download, that feeling of da 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 da, whatever. I thought, okay, I need to get on. I need to get more comfortable on camera, and the download as such was you need to document it. And obviously, I've been doing these little daily videos, and they don't get the views that other videos do. But in a way, that's part of my promise to myself of I need to document it. That was part of my
yeah.
sense of you're going to forget how you felt over this year. You're going to forget. So yeah.
It's
So whether maybe it's worth documenting just for yourself, that
absolutely.
you are going to forget that. Okay, this is how it felt. This is what I had to learn. And
Yeah, it's almost a form of like journaling too,
yes,
it's
exactly.
like and what you want to put out there for the internet and what you don't is where you kind of have to draw that line.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, and I hear too on TikTok all the time from these, I don't know, have you heard of like Mr. Beast? He's like,
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know if that's an American
It would be
thing or
hard
not,
to get
but
through the world without knowing Mr. Beast.
okay, okay, but like he'll say, just hit record,
Yeah.
and like your first 100 videos aren't gonna do well. They're just
Yeah.
not, and so
Yeah.
it's like that's what I've been doing, and I just hit record and I do it, and like I think you said something earlier about like how censored do you, is that a generational thing, and there are times, and that's why I'm like with a reaction video, it's so hard because it's not like you can not have your actual reaction.
Yes, I love this.
And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, girl, tune it down. Like you gotta chill out. The world does not need to hear that. And then I'm like, well, that's what a reaction is. So yeah.
Yeah. I think in the one I saw that you'd edited it though. So you do edit, do you edit all of them, or was it just because that one was a longer one and you watched twice, or
I do edit them.
Mhm.
However, if it's like, like there's been a part where, so what was his most recent Slaughterhouse? When I reacted
Okay.
to
I haven't
Slaughterhouse,
seen it yet.
you haven't. Okay, well
I
I won't.
know
I
because
won't
I
spoil
was
too
feeling
much.
sensitive. I was feeling a little bit poorly, and I was feeling a bit sensitive. And I thought he in his socials he mentioned something about something hitting his eye and hurting him, and I was like, I can't watch this. I can't. I just feel too sensitive right now.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Anyway, you
well,
can talk about it.
I won't spoil anything, but there is a part where he doesn't have his shirt on, right? And we all know
Okay.
that Ren works out. I don't have to tell
Okay.
you, Ren works out. And my reaction, I'm like, ugh, like drooling over his muscles, and then I'm like, girl, like this is art. He's talking about very like important, deep things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
muscles, and so then like I can't edit that out because there was no other reaction to put
Okay.
in that place, right? So those kind of things, I'm like, ugh, but that's my reaction, and it
Yeah.
doesn't mean I don't. Obviously, I respect, his
I
art and everything,
respect him. Yeah.
but you can't fake a
Yeah.
reaction,
Can't
really.
not.
So yeah,
Yeah. You're gonna notice some things. Yeah.
exactly. So not my fault. He's so ripped. I don't know, like and talented. What do you want from me?
Have you been in the Facebook groups
I I'm in.
for
I
Ren?
am. I'm in the rabbit hole group. shout
Yeah,
out
there are
to
some
the
cheeky
rabbit hole.
comments. I think
Mm-hmm.
they stick to one day. I don't know whether it's a Wednesday or something like that. And yeah, some cheekiness, and they say it's only allowed in this post
Yeah, it's very
if you're
fun.
doing any tuning.
It's
So
very fun. Yeah, I actually just posted in there yesterday because I got my first response from Ren. I was
okay,
fangirling.
yeah,
Did I don't know if you follow him on Instagram and watch his stories or anything, but
yeah,
he'd said, Spotify Wrapped and everybody showing their minutes listened to Ren and everything. So he was like,
yeah,
I guarantee next year it's going to be double these numbers, or I'm going to run naked across the London Bridge. And I commented back to his story, which I do all the time, but I'm like,
yeah,
he's not going to see it. He's got a million people message him. He's not going to see it.
yeah,
And I said, better be careful with that bet because you
yeah,
might not get the results you want. Like a lot of us out here, we wouldn't mind seeing Ren run across the London Bridge, if you know what I'm saying. And he commented back and he's like, please don't sabotage my music career just to see me run across the bridge naked. And I'm like, of
yeah,
course, that's the one he saw out of everything.
yeah, yeah.
I was just excited to get a response. But it is funny. Those rabbit hole fans crack me up. We all just love him.
Yeah, yeah. It's I've never been involved with any of this before. I was even as a teenager. I didn't follow a group. I didn't
Hmm.
stand outside of the hotel. You know what I mean? I didn't have. I liked certain pop groups,
Hmm.
but I didn't know how old they were and what they. Do you know what I mean? I
Hmm.
just wasn't aware of any of that. So to know that all this exists, and sometimes they'll say to me, "Oh, I've put your video on his Patreon." I'm like, "Oh no, no,
Oh
like,
no.
don't do that." You know?
No, that's a great thing because it opens up
Yeah,
opportunities, and that's what you got to
yeah,
keep in mind is opportunities everywhere. And yeah, it is funny because I say like, oh, I'm fangirling, um,
yeah,
but I think what sets a lot of the artists actually that I've reacted to, the independent artists, I should say,
yeah.
apart from larger fan bases, I guess, is the fact that I'm not taking away from the fact that celebrities are real people, but I feel like
Hmm.
these independent artists, or at least in my experience of what I've seen, are just a little bit more like down to earth and
Yeah,
very real. And so it's funny because they're real, they're just a human,
yeah,
but when you really respect somebody's talent and art and you've healed through their music or their art form,
hmm,
whatever that may be, it's I feel like a different kind of fangirling. Like, oh, Ran in his muscles is one
yeah,
thing, but like actually
yeah.
respecting, the art is a whole different kind of fangirling, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I know for me, the story really mattered,
Yeah.
because that was how I got involved with it. I know some people say, oh, no, you can separate that. But I wonder when you're saying about some groups and fame and different things, and then these independent artists, I wonder whether it is the breadth of things that they're sharing. Does that make sense in terms of I'm sharing different genres, I'm experimenting with this, this is some of my story. I
Hmm.
wonder it's whether it's that you feel like you know them as a human being rather than that kind of brand thing that we were talking about earlier.
I think maybe so. And granted, we don't know them still,
No, no.
but it does feel more connected. I think of, not to call Taylor Swift out, but Taylor Swift is like the biggest pop star in the world, right?
Yeah.
And she's still I'm from Kansas City, so like, and she's dating. For those who don't know, she's dating Travis Kelsey from the Chiefs, which is our
Yeah.
Kansas City football team. So it's like very close to home, but like that's still such a huge celebrity, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that she is just as human as Ren is, But how much of her life do we get to see, and does she share
Yeah.
because she's so well known that everything can get nitpicked apart, and that even
Yeah.
happens with
Yeah.
people like Ren too. But being on Instagram and seeing Ren's like daily stories and being chronically ill, I do feel like
Hmm.
people connect a little bit more and do feel like they know him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we don't. We don't. But
No, no, but I think it's even to have more than just oh, it's music, the fact that he's sharing a story, even to have two different aspects seems to be more than some other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I say, knowing that, I tell you what, I've been doing a comedy writing course over the last few
Fun.
weeks. And so that's why when you were talking about the gorilla and the comedy and different things, they said something I thought was really interesting. They said that when you're, this is about the spoken word though, they were saying that when you do comedy, it's, and let's say you're going to talk about a particular thing, best to make it personal, so best to make it about yourself. And they were saying make it cartoon like, so not having all these different dimensions of a person. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. They were saying the more cartoon like you can make it, it's the less personal it feels about that group of people or whatever. So if you were making a joke and you were talking about teachers, you talk about a stereotype cartoon like version of teachers. You don't
Oh, I
get
see.
specific about it. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I don't know whether you've seen my cartoons. So I do cartoons on Instagram. And my feeling was I make them more three dimensional and more human. And I was like, oh, this is about, say that I'm talking about myself. Sorry, High
No,
Ren,
no,
the
I'm
High Ren,
curious.
that internal dialogue. That was what I was putting into the cartoons, and I felt it made them more humane. And
Yeah.
then I do a comedy course, and they say no, go the other way,
Uh-huh.
make it more um, one dimensional in the way because it feels less of a personal attack. It feels more like a cartoon type thing.
That's very interesting. So, are your
Yeah,
cartoons? I'll have to check them out because I didn't know that. Are they supposed to
yeah.
be comedic?
They tickle me.
Yeah.
They
Well,
tickle me.
I was curious because like how we were talking about niches earlier and we don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
box ourselves in, you know, and it's like if you're doing a comedy, you know, skit or whatever and making it cartoony, I can see
yeah,
it not being as personal, but
yeah.
I'll have to check out your cartoons and see because I'm very
Yeah, yeah.
curious.
You'll see, I started them again. This is all me trying to express myself. And I did this and I found it funny. And what happened through it is it was almost like when you were saying about singing in the car, I was like, I didn't start singing in the car again until I was expressing myself this way. And then it
Yeah.
was almost like another part of me kind of
Can't.
I didn't feel depressed. I didn't feel any of those things. But somehow by expressing myself and getting it on the paper, other things started happening. And it was like, oh, I'm singing in the car. And I thought, oh, this is strange.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it tickled me. It tickled me. But then some of them by accident, because I don't, um, I'm not an artist, as in skilled artist or studied art or anything. So sometimes the pen slips,
Yeah.
and I treat it more as improvisation. That if the pen slips and the face looks a bit squiffy, I might change what she's saying, and so it's more of an improvisation game for me than
I
I've
like
got an
that.
idea, get it on paper. So sometimes it gets a little sad, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
but I've shared those too.
Yeah.
But again, it's how brave can I be sharing different things? Whether, and so there's definitely, in terms of good Joe and bad Joe, there's a voice in my head saying there's a right way to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think, you know,
and I'm not doing the right way.
well, I don't know. Are you? Because everybody does things different, and just like with the YouTube stuff, how we were like, we don't want to box it in. So I feel like yeah, you can take that information from that comedy class, and then you can take
Yeah,
that pin slip, and you can take your own improv
yeah,
improvisation. Hello,
yeah.
words.
Improv.
Any,
Yeah,
thank you. And 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 that's going to create something different than what you would have created before you heard the thing about making it, you know, making comedy cartoony. I
yeah,
I guess what I'm saying is I think you just have to do what feels good to you. Um, I can't wait to look at your cartoons. I'm excited to see them now. No, I think that you should do what feels good to you and not, and yeah, we all have that voice and it's there for a reason, I guess. So
yeah,
listening to it within reason, but letting it guide you, not letting it make you doubt yourself. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah, I think it can be hard to know when you're going in a new direction of, is this, um, this feeling of hesitancy. Is this because it's just outside my comfort zone, or is this because it's the wrong way to go? So I don't
I
have the
also
answer to that.
struggle with that. I also struggle with that too. So there have been reaction videos that I've done, and I haven't posted them because
Oh, really?
I just feel that same way. I'm just like, something about it, it just doesn't feel
Yeah,
right, and sometimes I'm like, is it because I don't think that that's good content, or is it because that voice in my head's like, oh no, somebody might not like that you said this or that, or you sounded silly, whatever. So I have that
yeah.
voice too.
Yeah, when I the very first video I did talking about reactions, and I had Ren in the title, but I didn't know any of this world existed, and then that video got more views, and I knew from the advice was do another one on the back of it. And I was like, I that something feels bad about that. Something feels like I'm using this artist, and I needed, and so I actually did a video saying I'm going to give myself a few days. Just I need to check my own motives about what I'm doing with this.
Absolutely. And I'd say that out there in the social media world, because I talked earlier about like opportunity,
Hmm.
and I think that I don't know that we all should be so hard on ourselves about I don't know the right term to use, piggybacking off of
Hmm.
other people's content, right?
Yeah.
Because we are sharing that content, we're reacting to that content, and we are,
Mm.
in your case, talking to the Ren reactors. Yes, that
Yeah.
video probably got a lot of views because Ren's fans show up. Like, that's an awesome
Yeah.
community, and they're all about support. And what I've kind of learned from them is that, and again, I don't know if piggybacking off of content is the right term to use, but
Yeah.
we're showing. I mean, we wouldn't be right here having this conversation right now if I
Yeah.
hadn't watched High Ran reactions and then started my own reaction channel. So it's like
Yeah.
it opens opportunities, and I think that that's meant to genuinely happen. And I think that Ren or other artists, they're not going to be like, "What are your motives?" using my
Yeah.
name, because that's what they put that stuff out there for. It's
Yeah.
like a domino effect of creativity. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I do
There's a book.
understand what you mean. I think the same
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
and
I'm
yeah,
just checking. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So when you did the first reaction videos, were they Ren? Because I know you've got other people.
Yes, they were. They were all Ren at first, and I'm trying to do more on there. I got a lot of requests for falling in reverse, which I've
I was
checked
going to
them
say
out.
that was who I wrote down, but I haven't watched any of theirs, so I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I would start with Popular Monster if you watch one. That's where I
Popular
started.
Monster.
And
Okay.
they are more like rock music, which isn't
Yeah.
typically my jam. However, the cinematography of the
Oh,
video,
okay. So they're more.
the
Yeah.
talent of the being able to sing and then scream also is always amazing to me. And so
Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching them. And Bryn's music has brought me to Prof and Chris Webby and
Okay.
Chinchilla. Oh, I love Chinchilla. And so, yeah, I mean, again, yeah, just reacting to one thing opens up. I wouldn't have discovered all of these UK artists. That is where the
Okay.
music is over there. You guys know how to do it because I'm loving it.
Yeah, yeah. I was completely out of the loop. As I say, I wouldn't have said, I wouldn't have said I was missing music even. I was just so busy living my life and doing other things that for some reason, but that was why I say about singing in the car. I just stopped singing in the car. I just wasn't
Yeah.
listening to music, and I was just getting on with life. I hadn't even noticed that I'd stopped it or missed it. Um, and then, as I say, I was doing the cartoons, I was finding things funny, and then suddenly I'm singing in the car. So,
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
so
And that all comes back to that like awareness, like
yeah,
just slowing down and being aware enough to realize like, wait, I'm not singing in the car anymore. What the heck? I like to sing in the car.
yeah,
Why am I not doing that?
yeah. I was just going to mention to you, there's a book by Austin Kleon. I don't know whether you know him, and it's called Stealing Like an Artist.
Uh-uh.
Anyway, fabulous book, and he's saying stealing like an artist isn't like stealing. It's where you take a little bit from here, a little bit from here, a little bit from here, and so you're having all of these different influences, and then you create something. And he does also talk a lot about the value that you add, and that was probably what my first video was. In terms of the reaction channels, I like the value that you add.
Yeah, yeah, and I like the value that you add by
Yeah.
talking to the reactors. And that's the thing is, with Slaughterhouse, for example, I almost didn't upload my video because I watched
Okay.
other reactions first, which
Oh,
I
okay.
won't I won't do that again because then you're like
Yeah.
then you're comparing to everybody and you're like, no,
Okay.
mine's dumb because theirs is so great. But I say all that because I watched the other reaction videos and then I saw so many things I caught so many more things
Okay.
that I wouldn't have caught in the first
Yeah.
place. And like I'll listen to like a Knox Hill reaction, for example, and
Yeah.
I'm just like how he's like an encyclopedia. I'm like, how does he
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
everything about everything? But it's just so cool to see different channels and people catching different things and different interpretations of those things. So yeah.
Yeah. So do you think of your channel at the moment, before we've done the whole gorilla thing, it's a reaction channel? Is that what you see it as
Mostly, yeah. I mean,
at
we'll
the
see.
moment?
I do. I like to consider myself like an idea machine. I have a lot of cool ideas.
Hmm.
I have ADHD also,
Yeah.
so it's like it's a
Yeah.
blessing and a
This
curse.
is all
But
very familiar, all these stories.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I have a lot of ideas that I would love to execute, and I feel like I do have like a creator mind. I so I don't want to box it into a reaction channel. That is all it is right now. But like, I would
Yeah.
love to be able to chat with people more about their creative ideas and how to make
Yeah.
them how to make them reality. So that's something I've considered doing on my channel too. Is just I don't know, little tips or just my little thoughts that come throughout the day
Yeah.
of like as I'm working on social media stuff, like just my thoughts that come through, sharing those and seeing where that goes.
Yeah.
So it's something I've thought about because the Eliza effect like could be so much more than just reactions. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was looking at your channel, I noticed the artwork on the top banner. Is that something you did, or is that just something that's your
It's just
taste? Or
something I found. Yeah, it's something I found on
oh,
the
it's
internet.
nice.
Yeah, it just made me think of like how big the world is and how much is out there,
Okay.
and I hope that's what my mind looks like inside, all glittery and galaxy like.
There's a couple of the reaction channels. Somebody that I spoke to recently, and he also does reactions to anime, and I was
Oh,
wondering whether
cool.
you're going to go that route as well, or
I would.
no?
I'm not against it.
Yeah,
I totally would. I've seen a few reaction channels too where they react to like movie scenes or
yeah,
this or that, and like I don't know. It's a weird thing with copyright. I'm like scared
yeah,
to spend
yes,
my time
yeah,
reacting to something and then it getting a copyright strike and
yeah,
not being able to use it. So I'm still kind of figuring that out. But yeah, I'll react to whatever. Like I'll give my thoughts
yeah.
on anything really.
Yeah, I know with Jess from Film Finds, she's done a couple. What did she call it? She didn't call it a reaction, an analysis. She was referring to something as an analysis because she's super into movies and loves horror movies and different things like that. So she was saying, I've already seen this video, so it's not a reaction as such. I'm aware of,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd love to go deep and analyze and talk about all the movie references that are in there.
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
smart.
that I think there's a few ways to go,
Yeah.
especially if you've already watched all the reaction videos. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm impatient and I can't wait.
Yeah, no,
So
I understand. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I'm open to and would love to make more time for. Like I said, I work 40 hours a
yes,
week too, and I'm a mom, so it's like finding the time, but I love to do it. Like, I'll get really busy and not do a reaction for a while, and I'm like, and then it feels almost like work to set up my equipment and do
yeah,
it, and then I
okay,
and then I do it, and I love it, and I'm having so much fun. And I finish the video and I'm like, why have I waited 2 weeks to do a reaction video? It's so I always feel better when I do one, so I need to just do them. It's that voice
yeah,
again. I don't know.
yeah. Is that your cockerel again?
Do what?
No, I just
Oh
thought
no,
I heard something in the background.
that's my cat. That's my cat
Oh,
crying
that's
to
the
get
cat.
in. Yeah, that's sounds like a farm around here. That's my
No,
real
it's
cat.
great.
She's just
That's
crying to get
great.
in here.
Right. So anyway, so you've got these creative things. It sounds to me like something is just that one thing is opening other doors, but not just doors, opportunities in the world, but for yourself, you're opening doors. You say, no, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really, really trying to understand and trust my intuition more these days. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have people around you? Like, do you have friends that are also doing channels, different things, or
No, this is actually,
no?
and same with like when I talk about Ren,
Hmm.
it's like, oh, a UK artist, or like, oh, I'm not into rap or whatever.
Hmm.
Everybody just has their own things that they're into, and I'm like, I'm excited to talk to you, and I love
Yeah.
talking to the people in the rabbit hole group and stuff, because just nobody around me gets all that excited about these things that I do. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's interesting because it's kind of a little bit of a different world over here in my reaction world than my real world, and a lot of people in my real world life don't even like know or watch my reactions or
Yeah.
know about them. So,
Yeah. I saw something the other day. I've been thinking a lot about friendships. This whole year, it's been blowing my mind a bit. But I
yeah.
saw something the other day, and they were saying about sort of neurospicy people making friends differently,
Hmm.
in that they like to make friends who share similar interests rather than geographically just being close. And
Hmm.
so our friendships sometimes look a bit different to
They
what the
do.
typical
So,
friendship.
yeah, all you neuro spicy people, let's just start a group and we'll all be
Yeah.
friends. No, I love my friends. I love the people around me, but yeah, I
Yeah.
don't connect with them on this stuff, and this stuff is
On this stuff.
what gets
Yeah.
me really excited. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like the general chit chat and conversation. But there is nobody in my everyday world
hmm.
who's doing videos, or
Hmm.
there's some people that have had. I know somebody that's been on the radio and different things, but their job was to be on the radio. It wasn't an experiment like this. So I think people
Hmm.
look at me. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I'm a curiosity. Like,
Yeah, well,
what's
I
she
mean,
doing now? And
I
and
love
she
it.
and she says she doesn't know why she's doing it. Like,
Hmm. Well, she's gonna figure it out though, right? You'll get there. No,
yeah,
I think it's great what you're doing, and I do, and just even this conversation has made me realize too that it doesn't just have to be my channel doesn't just have to be a reaction channel, and yours doesn't just have to be
yeah,
interviewing people. We can do what
no,
we
no,
want.
no.
Really, we're in charge of our channels, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool.
That is the one thing that I've seen from the different people that I've interviewed. There's been other aspects of them, and it may well be that their reactions get the most views. But there's definitely. I was speaking to somebody the other night, and he was saying, "Yes, I'm writing poetry and I'm doing this," and I thought, well, it may not be your whole audience that loves that, but you can. I'm still thinking that that's an interesting side of him,
Yeah,
and and to share in different things. So, but
absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I think you could do a sneaky picture on Instagram about
Of the
this is what I
gorilla,
did.
of the gorilla routine, is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
so in
Yeah,
the feed for your Instagram, it's like, why has she got a picture of a gorilla? Like,
that's
I don't
interesting. Why is she reacting in a gorilla suit? Wait, no.
know how ideas come up though. And like
Yeah.
you say, you're an ideas girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they all come through. It'll be like, oh my gosh, so many ideas, and then I'm like, okay, which one of these am I
Yeah,
gonna take on? Because I can't do it all. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think if you are interested in creativity and different things, to feel more comfortable on camera, to take some time analyzing and looking at how other people are making things and expressing themselves,
Mm-hmm.
who knows a year from now how that all feeds you. I don't know. Have you read Julia Cameron? She talks about is it the artist's journey? She talks about journaling and different things, but she says about having an artist date, and really what she's talking about is feeding yourself from other artists, and
Oh
that
yeah.
you that instead of just saying I need to sit down and create something, it's like feed yourself, something new, something new, something new, and then you'll kind of overflow with creativity and different things.
All the creativity at once. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah, it's great. I love creating. I love talking to people that create. I love seeing other people's ideas come to life too. It's it's cool. Anything that people get. Now my daughter's crying downstairs in the background. I'm
that's
so
okay.
sorry. There's a lot of noise here. She's fine. It's just morning time.
It's just
So
morning.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
morning over here. She's a little
this is
cranky.
life.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so fun, and it's a fun thing to be a part of and a fun thing to talk about, and I love it.
Yeah, I forgot to ask something earlier. The Ren fans. So you upload a reaction video. You already know about the Facebook groups and different things. Did you know that they were going to jump on you? Like, did
I didn't. I mean,
no?
I was hopeful. I don't think
Oh,
I was
you had
actually.
something. I had no idea they existed. So you knew they existed.
Well, I don't know that the group specifically. I don't know if I was in the group yet.
Yeah.
I think I just knew from YouTube and like comments, like watching
Oh,
reaction
okay.
videos. I think I just knew that his fans showed up.
Oh, okay.
Because like when I would watch reaction videos, I'd remember them being like, "What's up, renegades? It's Ren's Day," and like you guys all show up. You know, like I just remember hearing good things about his fan base.
Okay.
And right around the time that I became a big fan was right before he was performing at the Secret Garden party.
Okay.
And so that's when I started following him on Instagram, and I'm almost sure that's when I found the groups on Facebook too, because I was trying to
Okay.
keep up on all of the Secret Garden Party festivities. So I was following all of them to be able to see that. And that's when I just was like, wow, these fans, they really do show up. So I really hope they show up when I do my stuff. And I
Yeah.
did, and they showed up. They're great. And just what I do in my day to day life is like my social media advocating for better health care in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah.
and people advocating for their self through their chronic illness. And so
Hmm.
this community specifically,
Yeah.
I just felt very welcomed and very I don't know, I hope that in some way I'm able to make a difference, some way,
Yeah.
somehow, whether it's just somebody hearing something that I say or it's just talking to the right person. I don't know. I just hope that I'm able to make a difference in some way, and I feel like that community will help that happen just
Yeah.
because of the way they all support each other. So,
Yeah. But thank you. Thank you for showing
yeah,
up. And
thank you
thank you
for
for
having
agreeing
me.
to the interview.
Yeah, it was
Um,
very fun.
yeah, I love when you say, um, oh yeah, I'm just teaching myself this, and oh yeah, I've got all these. There's so many connections with everybody that I've been speaking to. It seems to be a certain type of person.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah,
That's
just lovely.
Thank you. It was so great to chat with you, and I appreciate it. This was my first ever interview, so thank you.
Okay, hopefully I've made it as easy as possible. So the
It was
Eliza
great.
effect.
Yes.
And anybody watching, go to Instagram, follow her on Instagram, because that is where you might see your first sneaky peeks of documenting other things that she might be experimenting with. I think YouTube is going to be maybe home base for a little while.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
I'm not super active on my Instagram right now, but like I said, I want to be. I want to start
yeah, I can
sharing.
see. Yeah, I know for me, it helped to do the cartoon separately. And I just like, I'm just figuring it out. I'm
Me too.
just,
Yeah, me too. But
yeah,
yeah, YouTube's home base for now, and yeah, I'm happy to react to, like you said, anime
yeah.
or anything. So if people have stuff they'd like to see
Yeah,
me
it is
react
nervous
to,
about the copyright, but yeah,
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 if it's
I,
content I can react to, send it my way. I'm happy to do it. So
yeah. Okay, well, thank you for your time. I'm gonna stop recording, and we're gonna say our goodbyes afterwards. But thanking you.
okay, thank you so much. I
Bye.
appreciate you. Bye bye.
Bye.